Welcome to The Explainer. Look, it doesn't matter if you're in a dorm room or about to start your first real job, you are going to run projects. So today, we're breaking down the core project management ideas you absolutely need to know. This is the stuff that'll help you crush it from day one.
Just think about something unbelievably huge, like SpaceX's Starlink. They're launching thousands of satellites to create an internet network for the entire globe. That whole massive undertaking, it all started as a project. And the tools we're going to learn today, they're the same ones you'd use to manage that, or to manage your very first big assignment at work.
Okay, so let's jump in. Here's our game plan. We'll start with the basics. What even is a project? Then we'll get into how you build a team, how you break down all the work, how you check if you're on track, and finally, how to find the most important tasks to focus on.
All right, first things first. Before we can manage a project, we all need to be on the same page about what one is. Let's lock in these key definitions because you're going to be using this language for your entire career.
So a project is not just your everyday work. The key things to remember are major output and a significant period of time. Basically, it has a specific goal, a clear start, and a definite end. It's a temporary thing you do to create something totally unique.
And this is the secret sauce. Project management is the skill of juggling everything, the people, the budget, the deadlines, to actually make that project happen. This is the discipline that gets things done. And honestly, the people who are good at this are the ones who end up leading.
And you got to know that projects come in all shapes and sizes. You've got your smaller, derivative projects, think like a small update to an app you already use. And then you have the huge breakthrough projects, completely new things. That Starlink network we talked about, total breakthrough. Knowing what kind of project you're on is so important because it tells you how much risk you're dealing with and what kind of resources you're going to need.
So, you've got your project. Now you need people to, do the work. But how you actually structure the team is one of the biggest decisions you'll make. Getting a handle on these different structures now will help you understand how companies work, who you report to, and just how to get things done.
There are basically three main flavors. A pure project is where you have a dedicated squad that works only on that one project. It's great for focus, but it can be really expensive. Then there's the functional setup, where people chip in part-time from their normal departments. It's efficient, but their attention can be split. And then the matrix, which is a hybrid, but it's famous for that two bosses problem.
And this shows you exactly what that looks like. See on the left? The functional structure is all vertical. Projects stay inside their own little silos, like engineering or marketing. But check out the matrix on the right. The projects cut horizontally across the whole company, pulling people from all these different teams to work together.
Okay, projects defined, teams in place. Now, how do you tackle this giant thing without getting totally overwhelmed? Well, the secret is you break it into tiny, manageable pieces.
And the tool you'll use for that is the Work Breakdown Structure, or WBS. Seriously, this isn't just some textbook term. Being the person who can take a huge, scary goal and turn it into a clear step-by-step plan, that's a superpower in any job. It is absolutely essential.
The best way to think about it is like a family tree for your project. At the very top, you have the main project itself. That gets broken down into big tasks, which get broken into smaller subtasks, all the way down until you hit the bottom level, the work package. And that's the smallest piece of work you can actually assign to someone and track.
And trust me, these things can get incredibly detailed. Just look at this real-world example for designing an optical scanner. They've mapped out everything. System analysis, cost analysis, buying the parts, every single thing is on here. This is how you make sure nothing gets forgotten.
So once you have all those little work packages, you can create one of the most famous tools in the business, the Gantt chart. It's really just a simple bar chart that puts all your tasks on a calendar. It gives everyone a super clear picture of who's doing what and when it's all supposed to happen. All right, so the project's up and running, but how do you actually know if things are going well? When your manager asks how it's going, you can't just say, good, you need data. And just looking at the money you've spent, well, that can be super misleading.
Okay, have a look at this. The red line is our plan, our budget. The green line is what we've actually spent. At week 8, it looks like we're doing great, right? The green line is below the red one, so we're under budget. But wait a second. This chart is missing the most important piece of information. How much work did we actually get done?
Now, let's add another line, this blue one. This represents the value of the work we've actually finished. And that gap between the red line, what we planned to do, and the blue line, what we actually did, tells us the truth about our schedule. And yeah, you can see it clearly, we're behind.
But here's the cool part.
Now compare the blue line, the work we did, to the green line, what we spent. The blue line is higher. So what does that mean? It means for the work we did complete, we spent less than we planned to. We're actually under budget for what we've accomplished so far.
And when you put all three of those lines together, bam, you get the full story. This is a technique called Earned Value Management, or EVM. It tells us we are behind schedule, but we are under budget for the work we've done. Being able to explain that to your boss, that shows you really get it. That's how you stand out.
Okay, last big concept. This one is all about focus. In any project, you're going to have a million things to do. This technique helps you find the one sequence of tasks that absolutely, positively cannot be late.
It's called the critical path method, or CPM, and it's actually pretty simple. First, you list out every single thing that needs to get done. Second, you figure out the sequence, like you can't build the roof before you built the walls. Third, you find the longest chain of connected tasks from start to finish. That longest path, that is your critical path. Right here, it's the one going through A, C, F, and G. Think of it this way. There is zero wiggle room on these tasks. If task C gets delayed by 1 day, the entire project will finish 1 day late. Period. This is where you have to focus your attention.
So there you have it. Being able to define a project, build a team, break down the work, track your progress, and find that critical path, that's your foundational toolkit. These aren't just concepts for a final exam. These are the real-world skills for making things happen. So think about it. Now that you know how to find a project's real bottleneck, how does that change where you put your best people, or where you spend your own time and energy? That's what this is all about.